We have Professor B. Nagaraju. Nagaraj sir is my teacher when I was doing my MBA in 2000. So now he has moved on to the Commerce Department. He's a professor in Department of Commerce in University of Mysore. And yes, his credentials in all the areas such as the guided 11 PhD students and 13 MPhil students, and vast experience of 27 years of PG teaching. And he has published more than 60 national papers and 45 international papers. He has a patent publication and Scopus Index publication and ISBN publications to his credits, and 5 Scopus Index publications he has produced. He has chaired around 18 sessions, and yes, he was course coordinator for refresher course in last 3 refresher courses from 2008. And he has a membership of the BOS, BOE, and the Faculty of Commerce in University of Mysore. He has editor for many journals, and he has a lifetime membership for few academic associations. And he is giving consultancy services related to finance advisors. And he has visited abroad, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Europe, and Malaysia, Thailand for academic activities. Today we have Professor B. Nagaraj, who will be addressing on research methodology in light of NP. Yes, sir, it is over to you, sir.
Thank you, Amelia. Thanks for your introduction. Of course,
Why
you are
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ feeble ಇದೆ, sir?
affection on us in that way. I think you have given more words to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good morning,
Sir, voice
friends.
ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ feeble ಇದೆ.
Voice ಸರಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ?
ಒಂಚೂರು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಏನಾರುವ ಈಗ
ಇನ್ನು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ದಕ್ಕೆ.
ಹೌದಾ? ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗಪ್ಪ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು? ಅದೇನೋ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ?
ನಿಮ್ದು ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ.
ಅದೇ ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ಹಿರಿಯದನ್ನ ಬ್ಲೂಟೂತ್ ತೆಗೆದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನಾನಿನ್ನೂ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಪ.
Sir, we have 10 participants from Tamil Nadu, and
Okay.
1 from Maharashtra, and 1 from Assam, and 26 from Karnataka, sir.
Now, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Audible, sir. Audible.
Yes. Audible, sir. Audible.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sir. I'll leave the station, sir.
Okay. Good morning, friends.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning, sir.
Good
morning, sir. Good morning.
Very good morning, sir.
Already
Good morning,
you
sir.
know about me. Today I am going to discuss on some issues related to research methodology, particularly in light of NEP. As you know that NEP is a new concept for us that our state has introduced very hurriedly, without having any, discussion with the professors or academicians. I think I'm not blaming. I'm just thinking on that because we need some preparation on that. But suddenly we incorporated and we are already in that system. Next year, I think one batch maybe come out as a graduate. Thereafter, they are having one more year for the same course in terms of honor, BCom honors. That you know that. Earlier we had a MPhil program, I think that may be replaced with the BCom honors because the syllabus is having the same way. There also we are having one project work, and the papers like research methodology, literature review, like that we are going to have the syllabus. because I am just a little bit knowledge about it. In that way, I am saying, when we think on that, in what way we have to consider our research process is very much important in our academic endeavor. That is the thing here I am just going to share with you. But one humble request with you, please be interact. That is very much important. If I am going to say one-sided information, there is no use, because whatever I am knowing the information, whether it is right or wrong, I don't know exactly. When you, I mean, interact with me to have some clarifications or comment, or even it may have some critiques, that can also very welcome. That's why I'm just requesting with you, do have some interactions with me. There only we can understand very clearly. Of course, we are not the students, we the learners, we the teachers. In that sense, try to have some interactions with me. There only it is possible to have very good deliberations or sessions, what we have today. So with this, actually, you know that NAP, I think you may be aware of new regulations related to PhD also. There it is mentioned that if you want to do any PhD after completion of BCom honors as well as after completion of masters. So there are two conditions. If you want to do PhD after completion of honors, you have to get a minimum 75% score in your graduation. Or if you want to consider your PG based, so there 50% is enough. In that way, I think you may be aware. So the thing is here, where you go for, of course, most of our friends are, related with UG institutions, I think, undergraduate courses. So they are, I think shortly they are going to teach even for that honors also. In what way they have to consider this research methodology? Of course, already we have in one subject in even in degree also. I think business research methodology is also one paper now we have in terms of basics information. So with that, so in that way here I am just thinking, why not I have to share with my friends which is related to research methodology subject. So there, suppose whatever I am having in my mind, this is the way of research, or this is the format we are going to follow. Suppose if I am thinking, so whether am I right or wrong, I just want to clarify with my friends. That is the way today I am going to think, and I would like to share with you. Please interact again and again. I am going to ask you. Hope you are getting my information. Am I audible for?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Only I think it's very easy to convey whatever our informations in our mind. Okay, I'm just showing the first slide. Actually, here it says, according to Rudyard Kipling, it says to keep all serving men. Not only he, for all of us, we need to have keep 6 honest serving men. Who are those? The men or women is not a matter here. The men means our assistant or associate or our guide, our instructor, like that you can consider. They taught me all what we have known. That is the thing here it says. Their names are 5 W's and 1 H. That you know that, I think. Without these friends, I am going to say here, they are the friends. 5 W's and 1 H. Without these, there is no possibility to have creativeness. Creativity, not possible. I mean, where we go for enhancing his knowledge, they should have these 5 W's and 1 H. What are those? I think you may be seen it. What, why, when, where, and who. These are 5 W's, and 1 H is how. So with this, only we can face anything in our world. I think you maybe agree with me. The thing is, we are in always changing world. Changing world says what? It has some challenges. Where you have change, automatically you are going to face the challenge. When you challenge, where you have the challenge, you know, you should consider, convince, commit, and contribute. I mean, create and contribute. So if not, it is not possible to face the changes. Then that's why here you should have these friends: what, why, when, how, where, and so now let me think. As a researcher or a teacher or a academician or even managers or some professionals, they have to think the concept like research. What actually we are going to think, which are the factors we are going to consider. One thing is production, that is yield. Another one, economy or money. One more, that is natural resource management. Another one is institutions. So these are the things always we are going to. Of course, the academician, you should always directly or indirectly involving all these, environment. So with that, here we are going to think as a researcher, what actually has to consider. So just let me think on this. Here I have three examples. One is related to Salim, another one is Manoj, one more is Philip. So here you just go with that. Salim prepared a paper on ICT applications in classrooms. After reviewing literature on the subject, university. So that is the thing. You just consider one thing. Another one, Manoj says that he has researched and completed a document which gives information about the age of the students, their results, their parents, their income, and of their institution. One more example we are having by Philip. He participated in a workshop on curriculum development and prepared what he calls a report on the curriculum for managers. Can you say which one is research oriented, whether it is Salim's or Manu's or Philip? Can you share? I hope I am asking. Hello?
Sir? First one, sir.
First one is related to research.
Yes, sir.
Second one is not.
Second one,
I think Manoj, sir. I think Manoj.
One is descriptive research.
Manoj.
What about Philip?
But just he participated in workshops, sir.
Development, curriculum development, he participated and prepared,
Yes.
prepared what he calls a report on the curriculum. He prepared report also.
All the
With
three.
Research. The first one you are saying reviewing literature. That's why it's research. Second one saying he is gathering some information. That's why it is research. Third one is saying preparing a report. That is also research.
All
So
the three.
all are, you are saying maybe related to research. Is it? Am I right?
Yes, sir. We do
Yes,
agree.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But none of the above examples can be classified under the name of research. See the thing. So now we may think on that. What actually is the research? Just to go with this example. So here, a general manager of a car producing company was concerned with the complaints received from the car users that the car they produce have some problems with sound at the dashboard and the rear passenger seat at a few thousand kilometers of driving. This is the problem now. He obtained information from the company workers to identify the various factors influencing the problem, that is literature. He then formulated the problem and generated the guesses. I mean, he is going to develop the objectives or research problem as well as objectives and hypotheses he developed. He constructed the checklist and obtained requisite information from a representative sample of cause. I mean, analysis, data gathering, data analyzed. Then he analyzed the collected data, interpreted the results in light of his hypothesis and reached conclusion. See, now you may understand where we say research, it should have some process. Any one single stage is not considered in terms of research. We should have all the things together. There only we can say it's a research. So this is the thing I just want to say. Now, if you have any comment on that, please share it. No one, I think. Shall I move? Yeah. Then what you can do with the research? What actually we are going to consider in terms of research, in what way we are going to think. Here we need to consider some dimensions. One is categorize, another one is describe, one more is explain, another one is evaluate, another one is compare, next correlate, predict, control. So these are the things you are going to consider where if you are in research process. Otherwise, there is no scope for saying research or research process. Just you consider categorize what actually we are going to consider. Here we are going to form a typology of objects, events, or concepts. I think you may be already, somebody may already did their PhD, or somebody may in the process, or somebody may plan also. So first we have to consider where you are thinking about the research activity. First you have to, select the area, select the concept. For that you have to categorize whether it is related to HR or marketing or production or international business or finance or quantitative techniques. That is, you have to first categorize. Then you describe in what way you are going to consider that research aspect, what actually you are thinking. Those that is the normally we are going to give in terms of introductory part. So there you are going to explain how this concept is very much important, what are its scope, what actually the contribution of the concept. In that way you have to consider. Most of the moment, first we are going to go through the theory, then we are going to enter with the practical. So where you are entering to the practical, there normally you are going to consider evaluation. So here it involves making judgments about the quality of objects or events. And then you have to compare. Two or more contrasting cases can be examined to highlight the differences or in sometimes similarities also between them. So leading to a better understanding of phenomena. Then you are going to identify the relations, that is correlate, compare or correlate. Normally, we are going to develop our hypothesis in terms of two wings. One is a relationship, another one is differences. So that is the thing, compare, correlate. Then you are going to predict. Whatever you have some hypothesis, by that you may come to know that whether your hypothesis may be proved or disproved. If it is proved, null hypothesis is accepted. If it is not, alternate hypothesis is generated. So this way we are going to consider. So in some extent, you may have some limitations. So with that, you are going to control your activity. Once you understand an event or situation, you may be able to find ways to control it. Yes, you may going to get some hold on that issue or hold on that concept. This is the thing we are going to understand by having that research activity. So that's why first we have to clearly understand in what way I have to consider the dimensions. Then
so what about explore? Excuse me, sir. What about exploring? Explore?
I'm sorry?
Exploring?
Exploring is one kind of research. We have applied research, Applied research means we are not sure with the concept. There you are going to identify. So whether it is true or false, in that way where you go for your research work, there you can say it's exploring or experimental or empirical. Are you agree with me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So that's one. Why must we understand research? It helps make informed decisions. We need to produce research in career and it evaluating research in the media. It assists in the classes. Yes, of course, we are in one mandatory subject for our graduation, post-graduation. The research methodology is very important because being an academician or being a person in the society, he should give some to the society or to the environment or to the academics. So with that here we are going to think in that way. Why must we understand the research means it helps to make informed decisions. Whatever the information we are going to get it, that will support for our endeavor or our future or our decision making. So that's why. And then here it needs to produce research for our development or for our career or for our future like that. And then here in some extent we are going to evaluate whatever the information we are going to get it. So whether it is true or false in that way, that too through the media, social media, or even our with our environment also, with our academic institutions also, with our society also, in that way we are going to consider. And then normally it is having in classes also. So now one more we are going to think on that to investigate some existing situation or problem, to provide solutions to a problem, to explore and analyze more general issues, to construct or create a new procedure or system, to explain a new phenomenon, to generate a new knowledge, to combination of two or more, any of the above. See, what for we need to think on research. So there it says, one thing is investigate some existing situations or problem. Yes, for example, I think we may have a very good experience with the pandemic situation. There we have come to know that some new words. For example, one word like quarantine. Earlier, is anybody is aware of that word before COVID moment?
No, sir.
No one, I think, normally. Of course, maybe have mask or sanitizer, maybe aware of. But quarantine, that word, it's a really new. This is, I mean here, where we go with some situations or some problems, there we are going to investigate something which is very much useful. Remdesivir, one vaccine, or Covishield or Covaxin, or even Sputnik. These are all, you know, that we are going to identify, we are going to invent or innovate. So this is the thing is possible where we go with the research to provide solutions to a problem. Yes, of course, research means, you know, that it's a one kind of scientific, systematic investigation. What? Of investigation of the solutions for the problem. That is the research. So that's why it provides the solutions to the problem. And to explore and analyze more general issues. Yes, suppose if you think on behavioral issues, there you know that it's very difficult to understand what it may be a person behavior, I mean personality. So of course you may be with nearly 1 month or 1 year or 10 years or 20 years, that is not a matter. Sorry. Even though it's very difficult to understand their behavior. At that moment, you may have some experiments or a test like that you are going to consider. Sorry. Another one, to construct or create a new procedure or system. By having your experiments or test or exploration, so you may construct a theory or a model or a formula like that. You are going to think on that. Another one, you have to explain a new phenomenon. Phenomenon, normally you know that it's a tool or a technique or a method or a procedure or a policy like that. So there you may have capable to explain whatever you are going to identify or explore or invent or innovate even. That is the thing we are going to consider. At the same time, it creates some new knowledge also. And sometimes it may be have some combinations of one or two or more like that. This is the thing that we need to consider. What we need to undertake research. That is the thing I am just going to say. So with this, you are going to, or we are going to start our research process. So there, even I'm having one doubt with this flow, whether this flow is right or wrong. I am not exactly sure with that, because I'm normally I'm valuing so many research reports from the other universities also. So there I am going to find the most of the moment some research reports are not having some format. They are having chapter 1 is one thing, 2 is another thing, 3 is another thing like that. Here I have considered by having a universal literature, I mean books which I referred. So by that I have developed this flow where we go with the research activity to start with the research topic and ends with the conclusion. So just you go through this, whether this flow is right or wrong, you just tell me. Or is there any replacement or alternate, or is there any wrong in that? Please just you tell me. Then only we can go by one. The first one is a topic. Then we are going to start with introduction. There we are having some contents. And then second chapter, I am going to think literature review or theoretical or conceptual framework. And one more three, that is the industry or company or respondent profile. Fourth one, analysis and interpretations. Fifth one, findings and suggestions. Sixth one, conclusion. The remaining are the annexures or just we can say appendices, references or bibliography like that. Are we considered this flow is right or wrong? Comment on that, because somebody may already did their PhD work, or somebody may in that process, or somebody may have planned for that also. With that, is it right way to develop the research contents?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is wrong in that, or is there any replacement? Yeah, please come on, be loud.
It is a proper structure
It's a proper.
for going to research process.
Yeah, is it right?
Right,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right, sir.
But even though I am finding some people are, considering the first chapter is theory, the second chapter is industry profile, the third chapter is research design. Are you aware of this thing?
Yes,
Somebody
sir.
are following like that way. Third chapter or fourth chapter is having research design. Recently, one thesis I have referred. There I found 9 chapters. I'm not understanding in what way it is possible to develop 9 chapters. Can you separate by having this flow? Can you separate again? So NASA, this maybe you can consider one more chapter like that. Can you have any?
So maybe literature review at PhD level, they seek some vast, exhaustive literature review.
Yeah,
So literature review can be
I put
a
it.
separate chapter.
Literature review is a second chapter. I put it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, sir. Correct, sir.
Sir, some people may go for analysis chapter. They may split the analysis into 2 chapters, sir.
Analysis and interpretations. I put it here.
Sir, for
Again,
the-
you are going to consider analysis as a chapter.
The
Again,
third chapter, perhaps the third chapter, some people follow that it is a research methodology.
yeah. That's why I'm asking. Research methodology you are going to mention in the first part. Introduction
Yes, sir.
itself. Why it is required to consider once again. If you are already mentioned in research methodology, here we have research methodology in the first chapter. Introduction chapter is include research methodology. Why we need once again that chapter?
No, sir.
Not needed, sir.
People
So-
do not mention it in the first chapter. First chapter, they give a background of the research as to the topic, the objectives, the scope, and other things, maybe, sir. But in the third chapter, exclusively, people try to discuss the core methodology that they are following in the light of research methodology book directives. And
Yeah, that's
hence
why,
people plan to
because-
take it to the third chapter without mentioning in the first chapter, sir.
Because first chapter is a synoptic note, is it not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Chapter says whatever the things you have considered in your work, the whole thing you are going to give in a one synoptic way. So where you given that, why you are going to think once again that chapter in the next stage? Because the first chapter is itself give in a one way, I think, isn't it? So that's why here most of the moment, that particularly Bangalore University, I have observed even now, some reports are having like that only. They are going to consider the third chapter is the research design. In some extent, Andhra people also doing, in some extent, Tamil Nadu also. But that's why here I have developed one flow, which I am also reviewed some literature. By having it only, I have developed this thing. But even though what for they are going to give like that way, that's why, because now we are a gathering of teachers, that's why I just want to know whether am I right or wrong. In that way, I'm just putting before you. Hope this thing may be right, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Most of the people follow what is being given by you now, sir.
Sorry?
Majority of us follow this. What you have given now is being followed by majority of us.
Yeah, if they go like this, then only it is right actually.
Okay.
There is no scope for developing some more chapters.
While
Everything
review
is included here.
Yeah, while review of thesis, I also found that the research methodology is given as an exclusive chapter.
Yeah.
Where I could.
Yeah, that's why I have raised it, because we the teacher.
More trust and giving more light on what they have done. Perhaps for a reason of having more pages, people might plan to shift to the third chapter, sir.
No,
yes, sir, I agree with him. Most
Yeah.
of the researchers, they want to increase the number of pages. Even as a guide, we insist them to reduce the content. They feel that as though we are harassing them to decrease or to think like that, sir.
No. Actually, if you want to say like that way, in here we are having one chapter, fourth one, data analysis and interpretation. There you can give brief introduction on that, what actually you have gathered the information, in what way you are going to analyze, what are the tools you are going to use for, what for that the tool you have considered, in what way that tool will give the results. That thing you can explain. It's not a wrong. Data analysis and interpretations related to highly on statistical parameters. But again, they are going to consider one chapter. Analysis part is one chapter means. That means that is okay. Research design. I think you are already mentioned in the beginning itself. That's enough. Is it not? So that is the
Sir, they perceive us as a very conservative guide, sir. Conservative type of guide. If we insist on them, they perceive us as a very conservative. We are not of a very modern outlooking thing.
Why should we follow others?
Yeah.
I am having my own format. I am going to develop my own design. In that way they may think.
we are being criticized very badly for this.
Yeah, no, not like that. Actually, sometimes they may have some mistaken by the cause of the discipline. Discipline means here I am saying faculty, science faculty, humanities or arts faculty, they are having different format actually. The science faculty is not having this format actually. It is not possible for them. They are going to start with even research methodology directly, because they are not having any, preamble for that. The science faculty is like that. Even arts also, in arts faculty also, for example, they are going to take one personality for their research work. For their personality, one person like, for example, Kuvempu. On him, they are going to do the research. There, I think it is not necessary to consider all these things. But the social sciences, particularly the commerce and management field, this thing is very much important to consider. So with that view, I am just having a discussion with you. Suppose if you have any alternate chapters or any, suppose if it is, then I may have some discussion on that, and I may also convince, suppose if I am wrong. So that's why I just put it before you. On this only I am going to discuss today. So you just interact, whether if I am not sure with that information, then you can add some information for that. Let me think on the first chapter related to introduction. There normally we are going to consider introductory part, then literature review, research gap, research questions, research problem, need or significance or importance or usefulness of the study, then research objectives, research hypothesis, scope of the study or limitations of the study. Here I put that words, need or significance or importance or usefulness. Is all are similar? Need, significance, importance, usefulness, all are similar or not?
So it's, if we put need, then no need to give significance, sir. We can also use the word
That's
justification.
why I
of
put
doubt.
oblique. That's why I put oblique.
Yes, sir.
You can go with need of the study or need for the study or significance of the study or importance of the study or usefulness of the study. We can say like that, any one of it,
Yes, sir.
but not both. Sometimes we are going to find two things: need of the study, significance of the study. The
Yes.
both of we are going to find. That's why I'm just put it in oblique way, or. Okay. Likewise, we are having one more: scope of the study or limitations of the study is the same.
No, sir. Scope and limitations.
Why not? Tell me, why not? I am thinking it's the same. Whether you consider scope or limitation, both are same.
Sir, in both topics, we are going to say up to what level we covered. And in actually limitation is also one way we are going to say what are the shortcomings.
Yeah, that is the thing.
Both
That's what
are
I'm saying.
almost same, very meager differences maybe.
Yeah. That's why, because sometimes some researchers are putting both scope of the study as well as limitations of the study.
Sir, one clarification, sir. In
Please.
scope, don't we also mention to the extent to which the findings of the research can be applied?
Yeah, that is scope for further research. You are going to say one more content.
Okay, sir.
In your conclusion or in your findings and suggestions, there you are going to put that scope for further study. Is it not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, that's why. Scope means what actually your work dimension, your work boundary. So when you say in your scope, then what is the necessity to say limitations? That limitations is not a limitation, it's a scope of further study. Is it not?
Sir, one more point I want to add you, sir.
Yeah, please.
So scope in the sense what I can cover.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I am telling in the particular research what I can cover. It is a scope.
Yeah.
But limitation, what I cannot do. What I cannot do or what I'm going to do. The limitation is nothing but, sir, what I cannot do.
Yeah, you are not
The
doing.
limitations may be limitations and the practical problems faced by the researcher in doing that research, sir.
Yes, of course.
It can be narrated like that. The limitations we narrate like that.
That you are not known before starting the work. Actually, sometimes you may not find the very good information, or it is
Of
not
course.
to conduct the survey. That is different, but you don't know in the beginning itself, isn't it? But here you are going
Yes,
to
sir, yes.
consider
Of course,
in
sir.
a way.
True.
Sorry.
Sir, I want some clarification, sir.
Yeah, please. That is
scope is nothing but what I can do or what I'm going to do or what I can cover. That is a scope.
That is your boundary. You are limiting yourself for that.
But it cannot be said that it is a limitation, sir.
Yeah, your study is having limit by the cause of your boundary, your consideration.
Sir, before
You are going to limit yourself. That's why I'm saying.
I understand.
No, sir, I'm going to research what I needed actually. That is to be mentioned in the scope.
Sir, limitations, the researcher may have a monetary problem.
Time duration, whatever it may be. Or area of the study.
The work of the researcher, sir. That the work of the researcher might have been that have been limited by means of my monetary things of researchers, sir.
No.
The monetary as well as a time consuming.
The topic may be.
And the area,
That's
the area of the study.
Yeah, I will come to that. That topic may be related.
Sir, the area of the study, the area of the study, what I'm saying here, I'm the study limited to the particular district, particular state. So this is what called as a limitation.
Yeah, that is limitation. That is the scope. You have covered only that only.
Sir, limitation can be, scope can be one limitation, sir.
Limitations can be?
One scope can be one limitation, sir. One among the limitation, but it is not at all.
That is your limit. I am going to say your study limit is the scope, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that study limitation, I am going to say limited.
But the scope will not cover all the limitations, sir.
Yes.
It can be
Boundaries.
one.
Boundary or scope is different from the problem. My own problem is highlighted as limitation. I do a research, I have a constraint. Some people have not responded me properly. I have problem in meeting some people. I have financial problem. I have library problem. So all these could be limitation. The scope
For a researcher, is it to say like that limitations?
Yes, sir, naturally. Sometimes why you have not covered this particular segment? Maybe I'm taking a research social media awareness among college students.
Yeah, is
I
it
find
possible
very
to
difficult
cover
to
everything?
access to
Is it possible to cover everything? Because where you go for identifying research gap, that gap may be very lengthy. Is it possible to take all the things? Definitely not, isn't it? Only you can have any one of it. So by that you are going to limit. There you are going to define the problem. With that you are going to develop the scope or limitations. That is the thing I am going to say. That's why I put before you.
Sir. Sir, what you said is right. As per the research methodology, we consider see the entire India can be studied.
Yeah.
But due to our constraint, we only that particular area.
That's why
for
I'm
example,
saying,
Bangalore, Mysore.
This is your limitation.
So the scope of the study definitely it is going to be restricted to Mysore and Bangalore.
Yes, yes.
Instead of doing the entire Indian market, I am studying my study is restricted to Mysore and Bangalore.
Yes.
So what you said is right, sir.
Yeah, that's why
I think
because most of the moment some scholars are having both, but they are not understanding very clearly.
Yes, sir, yes.
I just put before you. Okay, like that. We can discuss in detail also later. Research methodology.
Sir, one more point I want to add.
Initially, there is no. Sir, actually,
one more point I want to add this. I think limitation is maybe a justification for scope. Am I right?
Yeah, that is the thing. That's why I just put it in oblique.
Sir, you are right.
This one or that one.
Yeah, the word that is appropriate.
Yeah.
Which one,
I
sir?
think you have convinced, I think, isn't it?
Sir, which one is appropriate?
No, the scope is normally appropriate because you are not saying limitations, your weakness. You are going to, normally we are going to think positively. That is scope. Limitation is a negative, actually. You are not, you are saying it's not possible to cover in that way. You are going to say, no, we are not saying like that. I am going to cover this thing only. In that way, positively, you are going to think. That's why we need to put normally scope of the study. Don't put actually wherever in case of research activity, don't say limit. Limitation is not in our boundary. We are having our own strength with my own capacity. That is the thing. Scope means this is possible for me. That is the thing. I am not saying whether it is possible or not the remaining things. So with that view, we need to consider. That's why.
If that is the case, you mean limitations, the word you are not supposed to use?
Which one?
That limitations of the study, are we not able to use that word?
Or that you can have one alternate word, scope of further research. I'm already told you that.
Yeah, okay.
So scope for further
limitation is not
research.
required.
So that will be after the research, sir. But scope, as far as I understand, scope consists of two aspects. So one regarding the objectives of the study. That is mainly what are all the main points we are going to cover in the study. And the findings could be applied in the industry aspect. How could the findings be applied? Not for further research, sir. So these two are the main elements of scope as far as I understand.
Here,
sir.
what we mentioned that limitations of the study, it is only by the cause of what we have covered and what we are not covered. That is the thing you are going to say. So
Yes,
which is you are not covered, that is possible to for further study. So that's the thing. So whatever you have covered, that will only included in your findings or recommendations or what about. Whatever you have covered, whatever your scope, that is related to your findings. But limitations is not related to findings. Hope you are getting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is the thing.
Initially, there is no subtopic like limitation of the study. Very recently, to elaborate or to justify the researchers
Yeah.
from the defense. Actually, it is a defense mechanism that we are saying
Yes,
that
it's one
these are the
kind of,
limitations.
kind of.
These are the
Whatever you are saying
limitations
is
we
right.
are facing.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
is the thing. And sir,
Yeah.
one more question: do we need both research question and research hypothesis? Is it okay?
This is based on your objectives. But
Yeah.
objectives are based on your questions.
Okay.
Yeah, the objectives, whatever you are going to develop, that is mainly based on your questions.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What is that questions? Your questions is based on gap. The research gap, whatever you have identified through literature review, there you may raise some questions. Why not this thing is covered? What for this thing may be very much important. In that way, you may raise some questions. That questions you are going to, whether it is true or not, with that you are going to start the work through objectives. So there you are having some tentative solutions or ideas or answers that you are going to say hypothesis.
Got it,
That's
sir.
it is depending upon one to another. Normally, where you develop any questions, that should be in the form of objectives. Then only your work is proper way. Questions are different, objectives are different, means whatever you have raised and whatever you have developed in terms of problem definition, that thing is not matched with your objective. That should be matched with that. Hope you are understanding.
For my observation, the
Yeah.
limitations of the study have been gone through in all the universities, the standard procedures. That limitations of the study, which you said, is it optional or is it compulsory?
No, it's an optional. There is no need to say limitations. Normally, I am not entertaining, because when you go for research activity, research means what? You are going to find deeply, isn't it? You are going to dig the all information. Then what for you are going to say limitation? Is it a project? If it is a project, it's a time-bound activity. It's a specific activity. There you can say limitation. For our students, they are going to say, I am in semester, there is no time, so it's not possible. Everything in that way, they may say. For a researcher, he should not, isn't it?
One point, it may be a clarification given. I have defined my scope to study the internet usage awareness among college students. But college students are of varied groups. Suppose if I miss a college student who is doing medicine or engineering, then naturally it is going to be a limitation to my studies. So limitation can be derived from within my scope of the studies.
Yeah, you are going to define that thing in your scope.
Sir, if it is defined everything in the scope, no need of limitation, sir.
Yeah, that's why I put it like that. Scope of the study or limitations of the study, you can put it whichever is suitable for your work. There
now we can see some thesis they are using delimitation also, sir.
Delimitations, I think it's not good also. For a researcher, he should not say like that actually. For a researcher, he has to wait. He has to correct it, or he is going to set his objectives according to the information or environment. That's why delimitation, normally it's not a limitation. It's by the cause of some situation or circumstances like that, is it not? I think it's not necessary to mention. In my...
Sir, example for delimitation? Sir, example for delimitation?
Limitation means there is no possibility. Delimitation means there is a possibility, but not whatever our expectation. Delimitation means it's not a limitation. It is not our expectation, that's all.
Example for it?
For example, now you are going to consider our male employees as well as female employees. Nowadays, we know that both are equal. Isn't it?
Sir.
We are going to say both are equal.
Yes.
But in some extent, female may be different. In some extent, by the cause of nature, by the cause of their personal commitments, or by the cause of their family environment. So this is, it's not a limitation by the cause of that movement only. Hope you agree with me. Okay, let me think on one by one. First, we are going to think on that research topic. Selecting research topic. What actually here we need to consider? What are some considerations when selecting a research topic? Do have some interactions. There only it is possible to understand very clearly. Otherwise, it's only just one kind of wordings or information. Personal interest or passion or curiosity. Likewise, importance or contributions to the field. Likewise, newness or relevance, feasibility related with the time constraints or ethical constraints or organization support or availability of equipments. And one more we are going to consider after graduation. Normally, we are going to think this one also very much important. Employment possibilities. Sir, PhD degree is now exempted from NET as well as KSET. For a teacher, I mean those who want to becoming a teaching profession. So there, this is also one more important to consider thing. So with that, hope you all agree with me. Okay. So in what way that research topic should be finer? Finer, here we have FINER. F means here feasible, I means interesting, N means novel, E means ethical, R means relevant. This is not developed by me. This is the literature. So with that, I think it's very suitable to understand. In that way, I have considered. See, feasible. Whatever you are going to do the research, that must be feasible. It is possible. Otherwise, so you may stop in the middle, or sometimes it is not possible to start also. So that's why it should be done. It can be done. So there only you can consider. Another one, it is to be interesting without having any attraction or interest or like mind, so it is not possible to start your work. Sometimes some issues are not knowing also, but by the pressure of guide, by the force of guide, sometimes we are going to take the topic. This thing is happened, somebody, I think you may aware of also, or you may even, you may also experience it with that. Sometimes you don't know anything about that concept, but that guide is saying, no, if you want to do PhD under my guidance, you should go this topic only. So this is the thing I think.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, that is the thing is going on. So that should not. Where you go for any research activity, it should be like by you or interest by you. Then only it is. And novel. Novel means what? New. So it should be new thing. Don't go with only whatever already done or whatever the frequent issues is going on. So not like that. It should be different. It should be new, or it should be adventure. In that way, suppose if you take, there I think your contributions may be recorded. So that is the thing we need to consider. And one more, ethical. This is very much important nowadays. We need to think on that, because most of our scholars present days, I think when we think of our time, we are not having any adequate information related to our topic. We are not finding any information apart from books. Now we are having n number of information, that with their thumb itself, they can get it some information through their mobile phone. But earlier it is not. Now what actually they are going to do, by having all the information, they are not getting any risk. Just they are only fabricating. Fabricating means, I think you may understand. So what is that? So cut, paste, copy and print. So this is the thing is going on. No one is getting any risk. Now even for that grammar or English or that copying, paraphrasing, they are going to do. Paraphrasing, grammarly we are having one app. So through that you are going to correct your English. Paraphrasing, through that you are going to change that whole context or whole para. So like that we are going to do, but it is not good, but we should be ethical. So whenever we are going to refer any ideas of other authors, you should quote their name. You should put that information. Then only his contribution is carrying. Otherwise, no use. Suppose if you are going to claim is yours, in future, sometimes you may be caught, at that moment.
Plagiarism.
Yeah, that's going on. That's going on. But it should not. This is the thing. And one more is relevant. Yes, it is possible to apply, or it is possible to execute, or it is possible to accept. In that way, we need to think. So that's why the research topic should be considered 5 factors. That is 5. I mean FINER. Finer we are going to say. Then what actually, where we are going to get these topics? What are the sources of research topics? One thing, discussion with your faculty, friends, or even your teachers. So that is the thing you may consider. Faculty ongoing projects. Sometimes we are having some projects by our seniors. So with them, we can consider, or we can join with them, or we can associate with them, or we can assist, or even we can get separately also. This is possible. And then previous student projects, I mean reports. So the research scholars reports, or I mean PhD work, previous works, like that also you can. There you are going to identify scope for further research, which we just said it, So that is possible. So there you can carry the same line. You are going to move forward further. That is the thing you are going to consider. Likewise, peer-reviewed journals in our field. So that is the thing also possible. Personal experiences, in sometimes you may have like that. So sometimes some information is not possible to get any media. So at that moment you can start on your own also. That is also possible. So likewise, we have one more, that is existing literature. So I've already told you that the recommendations for future research. Likewise, you can identify or you can develop the research topics. So this is the way you are going to consider. So after that, how you are going to define it? I'm sorry?
Observation?
Yeah, observation, experiment, all begin with after deciding about the area or field or topic. Normally.
No, the sources of identifying observation. Yeah. Observation can also be considered as a
Suppose if you want to observe, means here you have one word, that is personal experiences. In that it includes, by having that observation, you may have some experience. Through that, you can start work. That is possible, Am I right?
Yes, sir. Accepted, sir. Accepted.
Okay, refining that topic, how you are going to consider. So that is here refinement needed for effective and efficient research. Another one, a literature review will help you. So this is the thing you are going to consider. So how you are going to refine, narrow your topic, identify a theoretical framework, specifically and unambiguously define terms, state research questions and hypotheses. See, refinement needed to effective and efficient research. Here we have 2 words, effective and efficient. I hope you know the difference between effective and efficient. Efficient is a success, effective is a synergy. Hope you agree with me. Efficient is just getting success.
Yes, sir.
Effectiveness is a synergy. I mean, beyond your expectations. So that is, you need it. So for that, first you have to consider narrow your topic. Your topic must be very clear information. What you are going to do. That is very much important. If it is not clear, then automatically the work is also not with that. And then identify a theoretical framework. Yes. First, you have to identify whether that theoretical information are available or not. Because here we are going to say research. Mean known to unknown. Known to unknown. Known informations are very much important to start your work. If you are not known anything, then how it is possible to start? So that's why theoretical framework is also very much important. And then specifically and unambiguously defined terms. Don't have any confusion. Don't have any vague information. You should be very direct and specific. There only it is possible to understand very clearly. Here there is no scope for logical terms. Logical terms is having normally different meanings, double meanings. So that is the way normally we are going to think. So that's why don't be happy. When you go for defining your topic, you should consider this thing. State research questions and hypotheses. That is must. Research questions turned into objectives. That objectives, sometimes it is possible to have some hypotheses also. So that is the thing you should consider. Likewise, a literature review that will also help you for refining or defining your topic. So that is the thing. See if your idea has been tried. So that is, you may come to know that by having literature. Include all relevant constructs, whatever already the worked out. The information is you have gathered your, so that thing you have to include first everything. Then select instruments. Sometimes now we are in scientific way of research. We are going to say scientific way. I mean, we are going to use some statistical parameters to analyze our data. So where you go for analyzing your data, there you are not understanding very clearly which statistical parameters are very much suitable for our analysis. For example, relations. Normally we know that where you go for identifying the relations, we are going to apply correlation or regression or chi-square. Normally we are going to use these methods. But sometimes some persons are using without I mean relevant to that. They are going to analyze the t-test test, z test, like that, even some more SEM or almost, or there are so many what is that, KMO, like that. There are so many tools they are going to consider, but I don't know what for they are going to apply, but which is very much relevant, that only you consider the instruments. So that is the thing you have to anticipate common problems. Yes, whatever you are going to identify the research gap, there first you have to analyze which are the common factors for having like that gap. So what problems we may identify that has to be acceptable. That is the thing first you have to estimate it. So with this, you have to develop your proposal, I mean a topic. A good proposal is a good idea, well expressed, with clear indication of methods for pursuing the idea, evaluating the findings, making them known to all who need to know, and indicating the broader impacts of the activity. See, with this, suppose if you prepare, your proposal must be a good idea, well expressed, clear indication, and pursuing new idea, evaluating the findings, and it should known to all those who are need to know, and indicating it should be broader impacts of the situation or impact, I mean the facts or activity. That is the thing. If you consider, there only your topic is very much suitable for your research work. Otherwise, so that sometimes the title is not like that. For example, somebody are saying impact of, of course, what is that impact says? There are some consequences. There are some results by the cause of some situations. How you are going to measure, that is very much important. Where you go for measuring quality, you need some parameter, you need some method. If you are not having, there you are not go for using the word like impact. There you can use another word. So effectiveness, impact, these are all, sometimes is not possible to measure. Quantitative terms is possible to measure, but qualitative terms is not possible to measure. I hope you are agree with me. So that's why when you go with the, developing of your topic, so you should be very careful for that. Those who are not started their research work, even you can guide like this way also. Those who did their PhD. So because after next year, we are going to have that honors program in our curriculum. So at that moment, you have to start it. Now let me think. The first part of the synoptic note. The normally first chapter of the thesis is very much related to synoptic note of our proposal, research proposal. So that's why here we are going to consider first the content of the synoptic note is introduction. When you think of that word introduction, of course, it's very clear and it's everyone known that word. Introduction means everyone can immediately to say what is that in that way. But here we have some words related to introduction. Just go through that. Introduction, preamble, prelude, prologue, preface, forward, lead-in, overture. I think you may be aware of all these words. Am I right? Just you tell me what it may be the difference between among these. Why we are not using other words to start? Why we are going to say only with introduction? Why not preamble? Why not prelude? Why not prologue? So all are similar in some extent, I am thinking. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's why, because here are the words. In some extent, we are going to confuse which word I have to use. Whether it is introduction is the ultimate, or preamble is also okay, or prelude is also okay, or prologue, or preface, or forward, or lead in, or overture. So if you think on that, there I think first we have to understand very clearly what that word says. Is it not? Introduction is well-known word. Likewise, even in some extent, you may be aware of preamble also. Is it not? But prelude, prologue, preface, forward, that also you know that. Lead in, overture is also very similar to that. Where we are going to consider prelude, where we are going to say prologue, where is all these words are possible to consider in our research report? I think I'm asking.
Sorry, sir. Tell me.
Yeah. See, here we have some words, introduction, preamble, prelude, prologue, like that. So are we using all these words, or is it necessary to use all these words in our research report? Can we replace introduction into preamble or prelude or prologue like that? Or where we are going to consider these words? Introduction is common word, of course. Wherever you can use, that is possible. But preamble, prelude, there are some conditions. If you want to use preamble, or if you want to use prelude or prologue, these are all some conditions. Where? Can you?
Yes, sir. Like overture, we can't use it in the text, sir. It is something related to music as an introduction to a musical concert, something musical play.
Which one?
Overture. The
Overture.
last one.
Good. Very good.
Yeah, we can't use it that to for a text content.
It's not possible.
Not possible. I don't know about that, but we can't use it for text, sir, I think.
Some captions.
Some
captions, some captions. We are having some captions. Can we consider under it?
I don't know, sir.
Yeah, some captions giving some messages, some information,
Yeah.
Yeah, some concept also. So there, I think you can say that overture.
Oh, okay.
Movie trial, you know that. Movie trailer, you know that,
Yeah.
The trailer is also giving some informations to you.
Yes.
Yeah, the picture mode I'm saying. Not only with the music, picture mode is also having.
Yeah.
Some captions, some wordings.
Some
wordings, that may communicate the whole information related to that.
Okay, sir.
Is it not? So that's the way. No,
yeah.
We need to understand very clearly, because sometimes we are going to see like that. Preamble is there, prelude is there, prologue is there, but we don't know what actually it is in some extent. For example, you can consider some magazines. The magazines where you consider any one issue, one topic, they are putting some highlighted words in the beginning itself. Or in middle of the page, they are putting on some box item there. It's having some dialogue, or it is having some direct information. Likewise, also we are having. So if you understand very clearly these things, when you go for developing some articles, there you can use this. Sometimes we are going to use some annotations, some dialogues. Even sometimes they are going to put their God name also. Is it not? So these are the ways. First, we have to understand that. So then only it is possible to put where I have to consider these words in my introductory part. So that's why I just mentioned. Because we are having so many words with a similar meaning, but it is different context. That is the thing here I just want to convey. Okay. So see, the meaning actually, the introduction, a document stating the facts and points, or a condensed written summary, or give essential information to someone, an introductory action or performance or event that comes before a bigger or more information put at the beginning of a story to express the willingness, openness, or eagerness to pursue something. So these are all related, which you have seen earlier, that words: introduction, preamble, prelude, prologue, or preface, or forward, leading, overture, like that. So that's why I just consider this thing. So what actually we have to consider in the introductory part? Normally, need and its implications, scope and importance, recent tendency and its influence, facts and figures, field of study, provide essential context and indicate particular focus in the study. See, here I am going to say this is one content in your synoptic note, that is introduction. In that introduction, you have to consider these items: need and its implications. Need and its implications means related to your topic, not for your work. Scope and importance, the topic scope, the topic importance you have to cover. And then whatever the trends is going on presently, the recent tendency and its influence. And then suppose if you have any facts and figures, and then field of study, the provide essential context, and then indicate the particular focus in the study. These are the things, suppose if you considered in your introductory part, where you are developing your first chapter of the thesis. So that is, I think it's very really good sound. Otherwise, maybe have some deficiency. So that is the thing here I just want to say. If you have any comment on this, please. No? All are hearing or just...
No, sir, no doubt, sir.
No, sir, we are hearing.
No, sir, hearing.
There are very much
These
important.
are the things
Hearing, sir.
acceptable? Yeah. So then what actually the elements of introduction? State the research problem, which is often referred to as the purpose of the study. Provide the context and set the stage for your research question in such a way as to show its necessity and importance. Present the rationale of your proposed study and clearly indicate why it is worth doing. And then briefly describe the major issues and sub-problems to be addressed by your research. In your introduction part, you have to consider in this way only. What for you are going to take this study? What is the purpose? And then why it is necessary and important. That can also you have to defend. And at the same time, why this thing is very much important, in what way it is worth. So that can also you have to defend. And then you have to describe briefly issues and suppose if there is any problems to be addressed by having your research. So that can also you have to highlight it. So if you have like that way of development of your introduction part, that to the introduction content, the introduction chapter, introduction content, so that should be how like this way. Then only it's very clear to communicate whoever it may be the value. That is the thing. Identify the key independent and dependent variables of your experiments. Alternatively, specify the phenomenon you want to study. State your hypothesis or theory, if any, for explanatory. Normally, these things you have to consider where you are going to present your synopsis or thesis in your colloquium, you know. If you have like these points, then it's very clear to communicate. Everyone can understand very clearly. So that is the way here you are going to define or present. That is the thing here I just want to put before you. So now let me think the second content in your first chapter of the thesis or a synoptic note, that is a literature review. Just let me think on this. Literature review is a very much important to consider for the information gathering. So literature search and review on your topic. So here I think you are watching. So here you are going to see the what actually we are going to consider. That is what are the key theories, concepts and ideas. What are the epistemological and ontological grounds for the discipline? How is knowledge on the topic structured and organized? What are the main questions and problems that have been addressed to data? Likewise, what are the origins and the definitions of the topic? What are the political standpoints? What are the major issues and database, debates about the topic? And what are the key sources? So here, how we have approaches to these questions increased our understanding and knowledge. So that's why here you have to consider. I mean, here there are some questions. The first one, what are the key theories and concepts and idea? See, we have theory, we have concepts, we have idea. So is there a difference between these three? Theory, concepts, idea, approach, proposition? We may say that also. So all are different. Concepts and theory. What is the difference? Can you share? Concepts and theory are the same or different? Hello?
Theories will also have questions, sir.
Theories?
Theories also will have questions. As I read theories, I will have a lot of questions within that, and that leads to research.
Okay. Concepts?
Even in concepts, sir.
Even in concepts also. Then there is no difference.
Concepts, whatever I read, I will have a lot many questions, and that question will create a base for research, perhaps.
No, why I am asking? Concepts means I am thinking it's a different views related to particular theory. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but theory is not like that. It's one. It's only one because it is universally accepted. There is no
theory is based on the thesis, sir. After the research, the
Some
theory
scientific
comes.
evidences, sir, can be
Yes,
theory.
sir, it is
Some-
proved.
Yeah, that's why universally accepted theory. Concept is not like that. It is
Not yes, sir.
General idea can be a concept, sir. General
Yeah,
idea can be a concept.
Yeah, that's
And
why.
whereas scientific, outcomes can be theory, sir.
Concepts are the foundations for proving something in order to construct as a theory.
Yes.
Theory is proven. Theory is proved one.
Yes.
Whereas concepts, maybe a few concepts may be considered, few concepts may not be considered.
Yes.
So it's only a part of it.
Why I am asking? Because sometimes some theses are having one chapter like literature review. That literature review means normally it's highly based on concepts, not the theories. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Literature, most of the is based on concepts, not the theories. By having all the concepts, they may develop one single theory. That can possible. Is it not? So that's why.
True, sir.
There
True,
is
sir.
scope for us to reflect on the theory and understand that there's still more we require in the theory, sir.
Yes. Where you accepted universally, there only it is possible to say.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not a theory.
No. My question is, though it is a theory proved by Maslow according to need hierarchy of human person. Today, perhaps there may be some addition. There could be some addition.
Yeah.
That theory.
Yeah, whatever.
So at that point, we may come out with a new theory. Even with the theory, we have some questions. That's my point, sir.
Yes. See, actually, whatever you said, that Maslow's hierarchical needs theory, in China, they are not accepted actually. Their first basic need is what you know, social need. After that, only they considered physiological need. But in all other countries are considered, basic needs are physiological needs. I mean, the food, shelter, clothes are like that. But in China, they are not accepted. We have a different way because their, commitment is society. So that's why first they are considering social need. After that, physiological need. After that, safety need like that. So this is the thing. That's why I just raised it by the cause of we should understand in a different way. Even if it is one single theory, we have to consider different wings. A diamond, you know that. Diamond is having different facets. A diamond is having different facets. That facets are concepts. The whole theme is theory. Am I right?
Sir, one more thing there.
Yeah, please.
Sir, the concept may be understood by everybody in a different manner.
Yes, definitely.
But theory can be understood in a common manner only. I think so.
Universally accepted means that is the thing. Everyone should is the same. That is theory. If there is a differences of opinion, I mean, by the cause of their experiments or observations or any study like that, they may have different opinion on that. That is possible. That's why we have to consider both theories, concepts, ideas, propositions, approaches. Paradox, I think you may be aware of that word, paradox. Paradoxical idea, normally it is not permanent. It is only at that moment only we can consider. It is possible to accept it. Otherwise, it is not. Paradoxical theory is also like that. It is not impermanent.
The question in X theory has helped us to develop Y theory. And the questions in X and Y theory has helped us to go for Z theory.
Yeah. No, that's why it's an extension. It may be change, That's why paradox. That's why I mentioned the paradox theories.
Sir, here we may include the word facts also, sir. We need to know the facts, theory, ideas, and concepts.
Yeah. That's why approaches or propositions or assumptions, ideas, concepts, theories, like that we can put into in the scale. The first may be a approach, or then propose, and then idea, and then concept, and then theory. We can put it into a scale also. That can also possible. So that's what I mean. When you go for reviewing the literature, you should have like this way of mind. Then only it is possible to understand very clearly. Otherwise, you may also in ambiguity. So that is the thing. I just want to, concentrate that first one. Then what are the epistemological and ontological grounds? Are you aware of that word epistemology and ontology? This is one kind of method we are going to follow in our research. Epistemology and ontology is the first, epistemology is the next, then method, after that methodological, like that we are going to consider. Ontology. Ontology means normally we are going to get some knowledge by others. Knowledge. You know that suppose if we touch the fire, that will burn. How you come to know that? By having that experience? No one is. Everyone knows. By having that information, they may believe. So that is the like way. That is ontology. Epistemology means by having some experience also. By having some experience, he is going to gather on his own knowledge. So that is the thing, epistemology. So after that, we are having some methods, methodology, like that we are going to consider. So that's why here, what actually I'm going to say here, related to that concept, whichever you are going to choose, first, how this was originated or emerged, or what is its history, or in what way we have to consider this concept, what actually that source, suppose if you have something in your mind, whether it is true or false, you can analyze. That is the way here you are going to consider ontology, epistemology. So these are all some kind of knowledge-based information. So how is knowledge on the topic structured and organized? That is the next thing you are going to consider. Whatever you are going to collect the data or literature, first you have to consider this thing, how this knowledge on the topic structured and organized. You are going, for example, stress management. Stress management is the topic. Stress management of what? So that is first you have to decide whether you go for related to insurance company employees or banking employees or teachers or any other. So like that you may consider. So the knowledge that is structured as well as organized. That is very much important. You have to gather information related to banking employees. Suppose if your topic is related to banking, so likewise you have to focus. What are the main questions and problems that have been addressed to data? Yes, everyone is already published their work by having some research oriented. There they may have some methodology. There they may have some objectives, hypotheses, and analyses. So by that they may conclude, or they may stated, they may opined, they may proposed. So here I'm using different words. So by that you are going to gather some information that will very, support your work. So that is the thing here you are going to consider.